How do you gain victory points? You learning spells by completing quests, and by killing by killing goblins, and by collecting your legendary weapons. How do you do each of them? Well, let's talk about magic. To learn a magic spell, what you need to do is place one of your three characters. When it's time to move them, you need to place them on the spell that you think might be possible to learn during the night phase, which we'll come back to later. For example, let's say you want to learn the first round, the first spell. You need to place one of your characters at the end of the round. You need to place your character here at where the snake symbol is, and you need to also survive it. Now, since I'm the second way to complete quests, the second way to gain victory points is by collecting quests. How do you collect quests? Well, during the day you can accomplish one of those tasks, any one of them, and then you collect the quest. Or during the night you can complete these quests, the ones that are basically more about about doing those stuff, about finishing those temples. Now, once you complete a quest during the day phase, you can only complete one quest per day phase, but during the night phase you can complete as many as you want, as many as you can. So each day and night cycle, each day phase and night phase is built of 4 turns. During the turn, the first player, which is currently it's me. Also, to collect, by collecting those, you need to complete each temple one at a time that you see on your card in that specific order. For example, if you want to gain the sword, which is a legendary thing, you need to complete in yours. You need to first complete the water temple, which is that one. First, you need to complete this one, and then in a later round, you need to complete this one after it to claim the sword. You can't finish both of them at the same time. So the first thing is turn. A turn works like this. A round is a morning phase is a series of 4 turns, 4 turns at a time, and it goes like this. The first player, which is me at the time, picks one of those 5 methods to move one of his characters. Moving a character into a place that he thinks would help him. For example, which is actually what I'm gonna do. For example, I see that there's two quests which are dark that are basically in the Dark Temple, and in my card I can see that if I complete the Dark Temple, I can advance the first legendary item. So what I'm gonna pick, since I'm the red ones, I'm gonna pick movement to reach to the Dark Temple. I wanna move one of my players in this space. How do I do it? By picking, I need to move diagonally. I have 2 ways to reach there, 3 actually. Either by moving by Griffin, for example. Each movement has a different way of moving. If I pick movement by Griffin, for example, that means that I move one of my characters any number of spaces in a diagonal way. Meaning, for example, I want to get to the Dark Temple, I move one phase, I went one step this way and place it here. Now, when you move a character, now the second way, now after I chose my movement, you need to do the exact same thing. Pick one of your blue heroes and move it any number of spaces with that one, or you can choose to stay idle and not move any of them. For example, for you can try and complete one of those 3. You can try and complete one of those 3, or you can try and complete one of those 3, and you can try completing one of those 3, or you can try and activate one of those effect thingies, or you can land in an area with a goblin where you fight the goblin. I asked for a mic. I know you don't have a mic at the moment. It's just easier when you ask me the question and I can see that you basically understood what I meant. So first thing first, I chose to move to this dark temple. Why? So I can start working on completing this temple, this quest, and those two quests. So I move diagonally. Now you can choose to move your characters, one of your characters, any number of spaces in a diagonally. So you can either move to this map tile on either side, which for this town you'll probably move here, or you can choose to move to either one of those two tiles, or you can move to that tile. Now, if you now killing goblins is a way of gaining points. So you have to make a choice. For example, do you want to try and kill a goblin at the night phase, or do you prefer to start going after your staff, or you can simply just go to this one and either fight a goblin or activate that ability. But that ability basically grants you a free movement. So you can, for example, you can choose to move diagonally to this side of the map, which means you can move another one of your character, and it activates this ability instantly, which means you can move another one of your characters up to 3 spaces ahead. Each one of those is a space. So in any way you would want, you don't have to do it diagonally. You can just move it up, down, left, right, or diagonally, however you want. So for example, let's say you want to start moving your second one to for example, to the water temple. For example, if you want the sword, just an example. If you want the sword, you can choose to go this way, going this way, one step towards here, and then after you did your movement, which was this one and that one because of the effect, you get to choose a different type of moving, and then you can do your second this movement to move it to the water temple to start clearing it up. I hope it was quite. I hope you understood what I mean in that order, in that of what in the explanation.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Is it how is it?
Huh? It's okay. I can hear you quite. I can hear you okay.
Okay, I'm using a different mic now. I'm using my webcam mic. I don't know how good it is.
It works. It works. I'm using my laptops in. The laptop's pre-installed mic. The one inside of it.
Okay, I got you.
Anyways, that was that's how I explained. Now, when you're moving a character, you can move it. You need to move it to a different tile. You can't place it, for example, from this side of the river to this side of the river. You have to place it on a different tile than it was already on.
Okay.
And you need to think strategically how you gain points. If you want to go, for example, after goblins, you start going up. You pick movements that will enable you to get to the most goblins. For example, let's say you did this way somehow. Then in the night you will be able to fight 3 goblins, and you might actually kill 3 goblins, which at the end of the game, killing 3 goblins gives you 6 points.
And how do you fight?
During the night phase, what happens during the night phase is that we take turns rolling these dice, and each side does something, and we resolve them in that specific order that's on our character sheet. First thing we do is take damage, and there's no damage here. Then you gain energy, but you cannot gain higher than your maximum energy, which currently is 3. Then you use these tokens of either a torch or a scroll, are how you advance your characters in those areas, in those dungeons. For example, if this was the night phase and my character was here, then I could have progressed him 2 steps forward. Now, this thing is how you learn spells. It means that this little mushroom on top here advances, and at first it's on 0. When it reaches this area, you can learn. It means that your characters can learn spells that are 1 level higher than what you are on. Currently, you're on 0. So if you end your turn in a temple, in the snake temple, for example, if you end the night phase at the snake temple, for example, like this, and the mushroom is here, you can say, that's it, I'm not taking any more risks of rolling the dice. So that means that you actually learn the spell. So you advance 1 phase, 1 step closer on those, and this guy returns to your castle, and then you heal or gain energy. And you gain points for the later of the game. But it will make sense as we get to it.
Okay.
First thing first.
And when does it turn to night phase?
After each one of us does 4 movements. So I pick a first movement, then you do your movement of the same type, or not do a movement of the same type. Then you choose a method of moving, except for the one that we've used, and move one of your characters. Then I move one of my characters the same way. Then I choose the 3rd one, then you choose the 4th one. And after we did 4 movements, it goes to night phase. So, in short, this game is basically worker placement and resource management at the same time. Now, during the night phase, the risk is that you might get to 0 health. When you get to 0 health, everything you haven't completed yet is considered failed. You're considered as exhausted. So it means that you lose 1 point of magic. You lose 1 level of magic, and all of your characters, regardless of where they are, return to your castle. So you could have been here to complete a mission, but decided to push forward 1 more chance because you thought that 2 healths would be enough to complete another thing, and then you lose 2 health. It would cause you to, despite being here, still fail the temple, not completing it. But it will make sense as we get to it.
Okay.
So the first thing I do is choose movement type, since it picks me to be the first player. I choose to move by Griffin, and I'll start by doing the exact same I showed you, for example, which is moving to the Dark Temple. Over here, you always start at the entrance. You don't start on the first torch, you start at the entrance. Unless you have the key, which is an item you gain from a quest. So I did my first movement. Now that means that you can move any one of your 3 heroes, but only one of them, in any number of spaces diagonally. But you can only choose one of them to move. Also, another thing you have to consider is that you can choose not to perform the move. Sometimes it's worth it because you gain 1 health for a hero in the castle. Only 1. It's called remaining idle. It means that you decide not to take the move because you don't think it will help you. For example, let's say you are after a night phase. You would have been here, and you would have said, "Oh, I can't do anything with those movements." You would have said, "Okay, I remain idle," and you would have gained 1 health point for the guy still in your castle.
Interesting.
So
okay.
But for now, you probably should move into a space. For you have a few options. You can either try and start clearing that quest, which means start positioning in a line. Not very useful at the moment because you can't gain more energy than your max energy, which is at 3 at the moment. Or you can try and your temples, you need to clear either the water, the ice, or the wood to claim one of the artifacts, which each of the artifacts have its own effect. It's a weapon that has its own effect. For example, the sword At the night time, you can pay energy to actually gain a free hit on a gob, any number of energy. Or the shield reduces the cost of blocking damage. While the wand helps you learn spells quicker with less risk.
Okay.
So now, in order to gain them, you need to complete the temple in the order, and you can only clear one at a time. For example, you can't clear both fire and wood at the same time and claim the staff instantly. You need to clean first. You need the wood, which will make the staff progress here, and then you have to clear in a different turn, clear the fire in the next turn. In the next round, clear the fire, and then you would have gained the staff. That's how it works. Each one of them at the end of the game is worth 4 points of victory. But for now, let's say you have to move diagonally, so you can either go towards the wood and start exploring the wood, or you can start thinking of fighting a goblin. Yeah, either go to the wood or start thinking of fighting one of the goblins. Because here you will claim, because in this way you can't claim anything, because this one is way too of a higher spell. It's a spell too high for you to learn at the moment. And the castle doesn't do anything. This location doesn't help you at the moment. It does. It gives you a free movement, but you might actually even try that if you don't want to do the wood. If you have a different plan in mind.
Oh no, I want to go to the wood.
Okay, so put him here at the entrance. Now that was the first movement. Now you get to choose one of the other 4 movement types that will move for this turn and start moving your character. Now what it means is like this. Raft, as you can see, there's a big river crossing the plains.
Mm-hmm.
Raft means that you move your character up or down the river as many phases as you want. So you can move vertically as many spaces as you want. By ship, imagine that the entire map is an island, and the tiles that are on the edges, those 8 tiles are the shore, are the seashore. So moving by ship means that you can move from any one of the edges I'll do like this. From this,
And
from
does moving
this,
cost any energy?
this.
Energy?
Nope, moving doesn't cost energy.
Okay.
Yet. Moving costs energy if you move for a goblin that's like this. But we'll get to it later. So now you can, that's movement by ship, meaning you can basically move from on the outer perimeter of the map. Movement by foot means that you can take one step in any direction, vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. So basically, you could have moved if you chosen by foot, you could have moved either one of those two to any of those 5 spaces, or move the guy from the wood to one of those 4 spaces. That's how movement by foot works. And movement by horse is pretty much self-explanatory. You basically go you just take the road. You just go by the road. So it's vertically.
I think I'll do by horse.
Okay. Now, before you make a choice of which movement to do, try to consider which one helps you the most to your plan. So if you think like, okay, I'm planning to collect more spells, then the best way I can do it in this turn is by moving by horse right now rather than later, or stuff like that. So try to come up with some kind of a strategy, thinking of the movement you want to pick. It might help you, it might not help you, it might help me more than it does help you. But so if you chose to move by horse for now, You'd probably not take the guy out of the temple, I guess.
Correct.
Unless you prefer to learn a spell, and then you could move him from here to this one. So if you move by horse, you can move either one of those two. Either go to the fire temple, try to learn this spell, but you can't learn it because it's too advanced at the moment, or go fight the goblin, or activate this thing, which means that during the nighttime it will take less rolls of the die to learn spells. For example, if you decide to go here because you want to learn a spell, that means that the magic tracker will start 2 movements forward according to this ability. It will start with 2 movements ahead, meaning that it will take less rolls of the die showing this symbol to claim the spell that you're trying to learn. But it can also work on my advantage. As you can see, though, the risk with the mushroom is that here nothing happens in spell level one level higher than yours. But when it gets to the second, every damage we take from damage dice causes double the damage, and we don't claim any energy. And when it gets to the third one, the final phase, damage causes 3 damage. We can't claim any energy, and any extra symbols of the mushroom will cause a damage as well.
Damage to us?
Yeah.
Ouch.
It's a competitive game. It's not really a cooperative, it's more a competitive game. But
Okay.
it's really... Once you'll get the hang of it. You'll see how you get the hang of it really fast. So also take a look at those.
Can 2 people go into a temple at once?
Yeah. 2 people can go at once, as indicated by the little symbol at the bottom. 2 people can indicate, but it has to be 2 different players. So, for example, you can't send 2 blue people here. It has to be 2 different ones.
Okay.
I think that's how it is, because as far as I understand, there's the colored spaces. That means that one of each color can be at the temple at a time. No, I think you can only send 1 at a time. I'll have to have a quick look at it, but I mean, I have the rulebook open anyways, and I know most of the game already, but those are semantics that I'm checking anyways. Hero movements, moving up, mounting there, blah blah blah. Temples. Only 2 heroes from 2 different players, yeah. Meaning if we were in 4-player games and I put 1 here and you would have put a player token here as well, then the 3rd player couldn't have started going there as well. Unless one of us left for a different reason. Anyways, if you chose by horse, for you, your best options for now would be to try and get to try to either fight the goblin or push the magic 1 step forward with one of those 2. Fighting goblins also happens at night, unless stated otherwise.
I guess I'll try to fight a goblin with the
Okay,
horse.
so moving by horse, place him here. Now, in the goblins, There can only be one at a time. If you're in this goblin, I can't go and try to attack the same one.
Okay.
Okay, so you went there. Now I have to move in that way. As you can see on my card, I would be more. I would benefit. It would benefit me more to try to go for the fire temple or the water temple. Now, for the water temple, I can't reach with the horse because the water temple is over here. However, I can reach the fire temple with one of them by going one step here. And that was my movement. Now, third thing that happens is that I get to choose this. Now I get to choose the type of movement, one of the three remaining movements. There's always 4 movements at least. You can also pick not to move at all during a turn, but it's not effective. Let's see. So I guess I will be walking by foot. We'll be walking by foot now, meaning that you can move any way around you, one step around you. And what I'll do is pick to move this guy to the snake temple, which means he will try to learn that spell. Now you have to make the same type of movement, one square in any direction, or you can choose to stay idle and not move. One of those two. But at the first turn, benefiting you to remain still, stand still.
And you said we have to do the temples in order, right?
Yeah, to move a weapon forward. Meaning that if you want to claim the staff, you have to first clear the wood temple, and on the next round you'll have to clear the fire temple to claim it. But you can't claim wood and fire at the same time. Meaning that if you would have cleared the wood and the fire at this round, you would have only moved one space forward and you would have had to return to the fire temple again. So yeah, you can either try and go for the ice temple, which will progress your shield. Okay, I see it's more beneficial to use that way. That's actually a smart move to go there, because now during the night phase you will start progressing at the ice temple, which will move your shield. You will start moving the wood, which will benefit your staff, and you will fight a goblin, which if you manage to beat him, you will gain your health will increase by 1, your maximum health will increase by 1, and you will also start gaining victory points, or not losing victory points for the goblin, more like it. Because if you fight, here's a tip for the game. During the game, a player must at least beat one goblin, because as you can see by the chart, if you didn't fight any goblins at all during the whole game, you lose 2 points.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Okay. So we both did our movement by foot, and now you need to pick one of the last remaining 2 movement types that we should do or not do.
Okay.
Okay, by ship. You can pick and then say idle, because
I'm gonna stay idle, see how this goes.
okay, now generally what happens when you stay idle is that you gain health. Hold on, I'll have a quick look at it. Idle, idle, idle. Where did it go? Back up, back. Idling, idling, idling. Idling. Choose to idle instead of taking the selected movement. In doing so, you do not move do not move a hero and play passes to the next player, which is me at the moment. In addition, if you have at least one hero in any player's castle, you may gain one health or one power up to your maximum threshold. Only gain this benefit once each time you idle, and not for each hero as well. So at the moment, idling doesn't give you anything, but moving will not. But it doesn't take anything, and moving will not help you at all. So yeah, idling is okay, and uh, I guess I will idle as well. So now that we've done 4 movements, the next thing that happens is that we go to the night phase. During the night phase, we start by starting from the first player, which has the token at the time. The first player takes the 5 dice, rolls them, and we are resolving what the results as we show in the order of the player sheet. Now there is no damage at the moment, no damage die. And gaining power means it works like this. The first die goes to the player who rolled, then another die will go to the next player, then the third die will go to the next player, and so on and so on. Same goes for damage. Now, gaining an energy, I can't gain an energy because I'm at the max, and you gain nothing anyways because it's only one die. Then this thing happens. Then this third token happens, which means the magic tracker starts moving one step forward, which is good for me because I'm trying to learn the first spell. Now, these dice, these 3 dice, they are not, oh sorry. The 3 remaining dice symbols work as this. They work for both of us, meaning that using those torches and the goblin. So since we're at the goblins, we both have one player. We both have the goblin. No, I did not go to a goblin. You have a token on a goblin. So that means you deal 1 damage for the goblin per die. That's with the symbol. So for now you dealt 1 damage to him. If, for example, you had this situation and there was only 1 die, you had to choose one of those two to cause the damage.
Okay.
Now that's how you fight goblins. When a goblin takes 5 damage and reaches the red one, it's dead. Now the torches are how we advance in those temples, and I rolled 2 torches, meaning that we can both start moving use those to move 2 steps forward, or 1 step in each temple with our meeples. So since I have one in fire temple, only one that needs torches to advance in a temple, I can move him 2 steps forward. And you can either move one of them 2 steps forward, or move each one of them one. Or if you pay 2 energy, you can have as if the roll had 3 torches shown. Meaning, let's say for example, you want to move this guy only, you can use the first 2 torches like this. You can use 2 torches to move like this, and then pay 2. And if you paying 2 energy wouldn't have helped you because you need 2 torches here. But you make the choices of which ones you move when. Hey there, Fahrenheit. I'm explaining the game to him at the moment. It's a 5 round game. Feel free to read the rule book in the meantime if you want. And if you have a question and have a mic, ask away. So yeah, now with those two torches, you can either move one of them each one of them one step, or move one of them 2 steps forward, like I did. Now I see that you've decided to move them 1 step each.
Yes.
Okay. Now after we resolved all these, you have one of two options. You have one of two choices. You either press on, meaning you get to roll the dice, and we resolve its results, or you can choose to pass, meaning rest, meaning that all of your meaning that you won't get any damage from future rolls if I'm still rolling. You won't get damage from future rolls, but you won't get the benefits, and you can't progress and stuff. But it's a good way to stay alive, because when you rest, all of the heroes that are not in the middle of a dungeon, or on your not in the middle of a dungeon, or in one of those things, one of those grottos, return back to your castle, and you, for each one return, you gain 1 health or one energy. So for now, you should roll the dice, because you don't have anything bad to lose, and resting now would be a waste. So you pick the 5 dice, roll them all, and here's how it goes. First thing, we start with taking damage, and damage works like this. The first damage goes to you. Now you can either accept that damage and take 1 damage, or pay 2 energy to block that damage.
Take 2 energy to block it?
Yeah, 2 energy to block 1 damage, unless you had the shield. When you'll get the shield later, it will cost 1 damage. 1 energy to block a damage, but it only blocks 1.
Do I use energy for anything else?
You basically use energy to. At the moment, you use the energy to block damage, which at the moment you use only to block damage. But like I said, you can also use the same 2 energy instead of blocking damage to make, for example, now that to make this scroll, for example, it would be as if you've rolled 2 scrolls, like adding one more scroll or torch to the roll. So for this turn, I would have suggested you take the 1 damage, because 1 damage is 1 damage. It doesn't really matter. Now damage roll works like this. It goes 1 to the player who rolled, then it goes to the next player after him, then it goes to the next player, then it moves like this for each damage token. Now you claim the damage. Now the second thing that happens is that the magic marker moves 2 steps forward. So 1 and 2. Third thing that happens is that we get to use those 2 things. We have 1 torch and 1 scroll. So in my case, I would use the 1 scroll to start advancing in the fire temple. And since I only have 1 torch, I will pay 2 energy. Oops, I moved the wrong energy guy. I will pay 2 energies to use as if I had 2 torches to move my red guy 1 step forward. You can do, and you, as you are in the wood temple, you can move 1 step forward with this guy, or move 1 step forward with the ice guy. Either one of them has a free movement of 1. And you don't have anyone in the other temple, so the scroll doesn't help you. Unless you prefer to pay 2 energy to move the second guy as well. You need to think it's worth it to risk potential non-blockable damage.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay.
I'll just move this
and
guy
it goes
and then
vice versa until and it keeps going vice versa with the rolling of the dice until both of us decided to rest or were forced to rest. Now you're being forced to rest if you take enough damage if you lose all your health. Then you're being forced to rest, and everything you try to do counts as failure. So for now, I will take those dice, and I will start rolling. Now I take 1 damage, which I can't block since I don't have enough energy. Oops, I took both tokens. I only needed to move the damage one. Usually, I prefer to put those higher on the track so they won't mess up with the regular tokens. So this one goes to 6, and the second one, this one of energy, stays above the 3 for now.
Okay, I got you.
Now where was I? I took the 1 damage. Next thing that happens is that I claim 1 energy. Had there been if there were another energy symbol, you would have claimed 1 as well, but you're already at your max. And then we have 2 torches and a scroll. So I can use the scroll to move this guy forward 1 step, and the 2 torches to move this guy to the final step of the darkness. I have not completed the quest yet, so it doesn't do anything. It only completes if I decide to rest. If I rest after survive, if I decide to make the rest. If I'm forced to rest by being exhausted, then the quest is not completed, even if I reach the final step. Now, and the scroll I've already used, and now you have 2 torches to move as well. So yeah, that's the only thing you could have done. Now your turn to roll or retire, your choice.
I'll keep going.
That's how it goes. Okay, so you take 1 damage, or you can block it if you want, your choice.
I'll take the damage.
And now you claim 1 energy.
Oh,
But you can't because you're at your max, so it doesn't do anything. The mushroom token moves 2 steps forward. You can see it reached the blue area, meaning that now, if I choose to rest, since I have the guy on a spell that's 1 level higher than mine, which is the snake spell, I would have learned the spell. And the third thing is we have 1 scroll. I will use the 2 energy tokens I have left to add another scroll to it and move this guy forward. Now, how do you use the scroll? It doesn't help. The scroll doesn't help you.
correct. So I can't do anything right now.
You can still pay 2 energy to do as if you rolled 1 torch if you want to.
I guess I'll do that. Yeah. 2 energy.
Okay. Yeah, 2 energy. So you're on 1 energy left, and you can move this guy forward 1 step as if you rolled 1 torch. Okay. Now, wait. I rolled last round, or was it your roll last round? I forgot. Did you roll last roll, or was it me who rolled? I can't remember. Damn it.
What?
Who rolled the 2 mushrooms? It was you, right?
Oh yeah, it was me. I got 2 mushrooms. Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is what I rolled at the moment. No damage, but I claim 1 point of energy. Next, the mushroom climbs 1 more step up, and there's 2 scrolls and a torch. 2 scrolls and a torch. Those scrolls is exactly what I needed to roll to move 1 step forward. Now you can't do anything with the scrolls and the torch. You don't have enough energy to make it a 2 torches.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have enough energy to do it. Yeah. So I guess it's your turn to roll.
Right. Let's bring it. Come on.
Oh, okay. Here's
Ouchies.
what happens now. You take first, and then I take 1 damage.
So I get 2 damage.
You take 1 and I take 1. Not
Oh.
2. You only take 1 and I take the same.
Oh. Gotcha. Oh, I got some energy.
Energy, you claim and you gain an energy.
Woo woo.
Now you couldn't have used it to block the damage now, because first thing that happens is that you gain a damage and only then you claim energy.
See.
Next roll you will have enough energy to claim the damage, to prevent the damage. And 2 scrolls don't help you, and I don't need 2 scrolls anymore. So before the rolling round, I guess that means it's over because you can't do anything with scrolls.
Correct.
So what I will do now is, since I've completed all 3 of my tasks, which is this one, and this one, I've completed all the goals I tried to gain this round. I will do now what is called rest. Now when you rest, what happens? It goes like this. First thing, all of your meeples return to your home, to your castle. So this one, that one, and that one. As for the spell, with this, I usually do it one at a time so I can follow up what I did. So I'll follow them one at a time. So first thing first, this one returns from the temple, from the obelisk of the snake, meaning that since the magic token is at the right place, I can learn the magic spell of the snake. And since I learned the spell, my magic count, my maximum energy boosts by 1. It boosts by 1. Then, for returning him home, I can choose to either heal 1 energy or heal 1 health, and I will go with healing 1 health. Why? Because usually it's easy. It's way easier to reclaim energy than to claim health, and it's easier to lose energy than lose health. Lose health than lose energy. Now, the second thing is the guy in the Darkness Temple returns, meaning that he completed the Darkness Temple. So I gain the quests, which each one of them has an item on it. The first one is it's called the gemstone. It means that anytime I can turn 1 health into 1 energy if I want to, but not the other way around. Not too useful at the early game, but it can become useful if you have the staff or if you have the sword. So yeah, the gemstone, and when you claim an item, you place it on one of your you give it to one of your soldiers, one of the heroes you have. Each hero can carry 2 items, so I gave it to one of the heroes. And the shovel I will give to the other hero. And the second thing is that
That's nice.
And the second thing is that since it returned to the castle, I can choose to either heal or gain 1 energy, and this time I will choose to gain 1 energy. And now the third guy. Oh, also my staff moves 1 track forward on the Dark Temple. Next, the guy returns from the Fire Temple. I don't gain any rewards because there's no quest or something for the Fire Temple. But my sword moves 1 step forward because of its Fire Temple requirements. You can do it like this, but you can't move the same one twice in a row. And
okay.
Basically, he returned. I will gain 1 more energy, and that's it for my rest. Now, you can choose either to keep rolling until you complete what you are trying to get, or you can choose to rest. Now, when you rest, this guy, since he didn't reach the final step, and this guy, since he didn't reach the final step, they stay in the temple for next round. The only one that does return is the goblin guy, and the goblin he's fighting returns to full health. So be careful, because if you lose 3 health in those rolls, you will be forced to return back to your temple, to your castles, and every progress you had will be lost.
Okay.
Now I'm not affected because I'm rest. I'm not affected by the adventure dice anymore, but you claim everything from it. Meaning damage, you gain all the damage. Health, you gain all the energy. You gain all the energy. Punches, you can choose however you spread them.
I'm a gambler man, so I'm gonna keep rolling.
Okie doke then. And you gambled nicely. You gained 1 punch on a goblin. No.
How
Yeah.
do I rotate it? So it's at
Using
2.
Q and that was the first attack you did an earlier turn. That's the second attack. You have 3 more attacks and he's dead.
Alright.
Also, you have enough energy to block.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this is you take 1 damage unless you want to block it, which I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend using the torches to finish your quest, finish one of the temples. So I'll say you should take the damage, then gain those energy. Although you can you can block this damage by paying 2 energy and reclaim those 2 energies back with those dice.
That's
So nothing
exactly what I was
happens
gonna
there.
do. Yeah.
And now the magic tracker moves 1 step forward, meaning that you need to be careful now because damage by the goblins is worth 2, and you can't gain any more energy die for this night. And now you have the torch, and you have enough energy to pay two energy for to move this guy to the final step.
And I'll do exactly that.
Okay, so you've paid 2 energy. Now, the thing is, it goes like this now. I would recommend don't push your luck with the goblin, because that sure you reach the final step here, but you don't have any energy to block damage.
See?
And every damage you don't claim anymore, you don't get any more energy from those dice anymore because of the magic. You don't claim any more, you don't get any more energy back. And each one of those damages is costing double the damage. Not to mention that if you roll more than 2 mushrooms, any excessive mushrooms more than 2 will give you 1 damage as well. So yeah, resting. Now, since you rested, here's what happens. This guy completes his mission, returning to your base. Meaning that you've completed the ice temple. It means that your shield progresses 1 step forward. Your shield progressed 1 step forward because you completed the ice temple, and there was no quest for the ice temple. Okay. Now the second thing that happens now is that you can choose to either heal 1 health or gain 1 energy. I would suggest heal 1 health. It's okay, healed 1 health. Now the guy fighting the goblin also returns back to your castle. However, he did not beat the goblin, so the goblin returns to full health. Yet you get to either heal 1 health or claim 1 energy.
I'll do the energy this time.
Okay. And your third guy is still in the middle of the temple, so he stays there. He doesn't return.
See?
Now, both of us did rest. What happens now is that I click the resolve button and we ended. That's how round 1 ended. Now, at the end of round 1, as you can see, the first player token passes to you. And if a quest wasn't completed during the day, then a new quest is drawn instead, or is refreshed. During the day. During the night, it doesn't change the quest thing. Now, what happens now is because you're the first player, first we're going back to adventures. Now, you get to start by choosing the movements. Also take good note that Moving through red guys costs one energy to move.
Moving through them?
Moving through them, but not ending your movement at them. So meaning that if you would have wanted to move, let's say you decided to move by movement by ship to move this guy from here all the way to the water temple.
Mm-hmm.
It means you would have passed through one goblin on the coast, and it would have cost you one energy to do so.
Okay, I guess I'll
However,
travel
if you
by
end the
horse.
movement, however, if you end the movement on them, they flip back to the regular state, and you don't pay extra for them. So, so for example, your health is is not too low, and your energy is okay. I would suggest you go to either this grotto or this one, because this one gives you two energy for each hero you have outside of the castle, up to your maximum, meaning you only have two, so it will be four energy back, meaning back to your three. Or the same goes with health. You gain two health for each one of your this, and the goblin doesn't ask you for an extra movement because you stop at his location, not at the portal, but you stop at his map, so you won't have to pay extra for moving there.
I need some more energy.
Okay, more energy.
So that okay, yeah, okay. That bring me back to 3.
Så skal jeg synge en folketone fra Haus i Nordhordland. Egentlig er det en voggesull. En tangtang av han masse han lass, men på en helt annen måte enn den vanlige vi kjenner. Han masse og han lass, det gikk seg ut en gang i skogen og hørte små fuglene sång. Er det fint, sa han Mass, jo da er det, sa han Lass. Det var bra, sa han Mass, til han Lass. Så de en kar som satt oppi et tre, så tok de sin børsa og skjøt den karpen ned.
I've got him. I do. Such a nice fellow. I like this guy. Maybe I'll play more games with him. You know, seems fun to be with.
Og veien han var trang, og best var han ut i vegvei på slong. Litt godt, sa han Mars. Jo, det gjør jeg, sa han Lars. Nei, det var bra, sa han Mars, til han Lars.
I wonder if he was talking there because he pointed with his arrows, you know. Here, I'll check. Were you saying something? I saw arrows.
Oh, yeah. What I was trying to say is that you try to keep an eye on those when you're planning a movement. As for example, look at the reward that this quest will give you if you complete it. If you complete it, your spell levels up by 1 for free. Now, at the early game, it doesn't sound so useful, But on the other hand, it's movement and spell movement is really hard. Spell leveling up. It means, for example, if you had a, for example, let's say that the next turn you choose, let's say you choose to move, I'll choose to move by raft. You can decide to move this guy. If I hadn't completed that quest first, you can decide to move this guy. You know, I will help you here. You can decide for the movement by raft to move this guy over here to the goblin or this guy, one of those two, and then you will immediately finish the quest because you'll have the formation, meaning you will claim its reward. And basically that's how you complete quests. Just finish their objective.
Yeah. That's what normally quests are.
Maybe in the castle.
I like that he explains things in depth, though.
So now we're still moving diagonally. I haven't moved mine.
Okay.
See, that was quite a smart choice by you to move diagonally, because I'm basically stuck. Here I will get no gain, since I've already completed the Dark Temple and there's no Dark Temple rewards, and I've already learned the first spell. So this one I will gain there will be no gain for me from here. Going here, I can claim the 2 energy, but that's what the shovel is for. It's a chance of luck. Or fight the goblin, and fighting goblins is not as rewarding as leveling up the magic or finishing up temples. But for this sake, I will decide to.
I think ahead here.
I will move the guy with the shovel. I will take him to move to the goblin. Now, when you face when you go to a goblin's face, the goblin is flipped back to its regular passive side. But before that, I need to activate the equipment, the shovel's effect, which means I roll the 5 adventure dice we do at night, and each lightning symbol, it's an energy I claim. It means I gain an energy for each one of those I roll. So I roll, and I only gain 1 energy. You don't take damage or stuff, you just claim the energy. So I only claim 1 energy, meaning I'm back at full energy. Now, something about completing temples is that if you complete a temple during the day by using this grotto, for example, let's say you were here, and with the movement you moved by
Coast,
and it's still the day phase, you could use the effect, move yours 1 step forward, and it will immediately complete the quest of the water temple, of the wood temple, and you would gain your movement by 1. So keep those things in mind. During the day, you can only complete 1 quest. Only 1 quest can be completed during the day. During the night, all quests can be completed. So yeah, I moved mine to the goblin. I claimed 1 energy from the roll, and now I get to choose how we move. And I guess I will move. Like I said, I will help you here. I will help you here with what I told you about the quest. I will decide to move by raft. Okay, I will move by raft. Moving by raft, I will take this hero, and I will place him. Let me see if it helps me. And I will place him 1 step here on this temple. Why? Because if I complete this temple tonight, I will gain the staff. So I move this guy 1 move forward. Now you need to move by 1 step. You need to move not 1 step, any number of steps forward. Remember that you can complete the quest I showed you. Yeah, exactly. Moving here.
Oh yeah.
I would suggest basically to put it on the goblin because the other thing doesn't really help you. I'm not sure if you have to activate the Grotto's spell. I'll look at it very quickly.
Okie
Mushroom
dokie.
Grotto, place your hero on the grotto, and then you may immediately take the action that is described. Multiple heroes may occupy. Okay, so you don't have to use that action, but if you don't use it, then you don't use it. So it would be a wasted movement. It doesn't really have to. You don't really have to be in that exact same location. Actually, have your heroes on 3 map cards that create this formation. I don't think they have to be on the same, like exactly all 3 of them on the right side of the map. I think you can put it either here or here. I don't think it really matters.
I would think just any map cards.
But it's your call. Here and wasted. It's not really wasted. You don't have to activate this skill, but if you do, or you can stay on the goblin. Let's say you don't have to be exactly on that side of the symbol. I think it's just an example. So what do you prefer? If you put it here, it's kind of a waste. Yet if you put it here, it's a potential asset for the night one.
I'll go with goblin.
Okay, so you goblin, you turned off, and you completed a quest. So you gain the quest card. You flip the quest token up. You flip the quest token, meaning that no quest can be completed during the day phase anymore. Meaning that even if I did this formation, I wouldn't have gained the reward. And your spell token is advance your spell token by 1 in the library. So on my location with the spell, so meaning that it will take you for your next movement. You can start thinking about learning this spell for easier or learn one of the other 2. Now I will. That was movement by raft. I moved mine. You moved yours. Now you choose which movement we do.
Would it be?
I like the
want to
whole
go for a
Tiny Epic
spell.
series, game series. There's tons of them. I have the physical copy of Tiny Epic Galaxies, and this one is very fun. I really like the whole fantasy theme for this one.
It seems like a real fun game. It does.
Yeah, and as far as I know, the Tiny Epic guys are also working on a beta of something called Tiny Epic Dungeons, which is basically kind of a cooperative dungeon crawler where we build the map as we go on, trying to take the boss. So yeah, where were we? You get to choose which movement we pick, which movement we do.
Yes.
And you may also, after choosing, you can stay idle and heal 1 health or 1 health. But you don't really. Actually, healing 1 health would help you. But I'm not trying to be meta here. I'm not trying to do meta. I'm just trying to say what I see that is potential. That is a potential viable move. Whether you choose to do it or not, you can decide. Like for example, now you only have 4 health at the moment. Oh, I forgot to move your spell token by 1 because you have maximum of 4 energy. Now, I see a few viable options for you. One option is to try and focus, is to pick a movement. It will enable you to take this guy to one of the temples. You can try to, for example, you can take him to, or you can't reach mine. Actually, you can. If you pick by horse, for example, now, you don't have to stay with the goblin. If you pick movement by horse for now, for example, you can take this guy after you've already completed the quest and place him next to mine at the temple. That's one option. And then if you complete this dungeon at the night, then you will claim your shield. Another option is to try and learn us. Try to move towards learning one of those 3 spells, considering how dangerously lucky you feel you are. And
Well, I'll do that dungeon with you.
okay, so you take it from the goblin to my location. Okay, so we're both at the entrance. Now, at the moment, there's no reward for completing it, so nothing would happen. If we complete it, nothing would happen, except for both of our things will advance 1 square at their time. You will claim your shield, and I will claim my staff. Unless I die before completing it. Or unless you die before completing it. And moving by horse.
It's early in the morning,
horse.
but
See, movement by
I've been
horse,
up
now I'm
for a
quite
while.
stuck.
I need a nap. How do we win this game?
Will it clear the fire spell? This is the lion. I don't need the lion spell.
I think it's when we get our legendary items. At least
movement by
first
horse.
person too. I forget.
Guess I will do. I will take this guy and start fighting that goblin. It's the guy with the gem, so I don't have to use that gem. Nothing even. It won't even. The gem is useless at this moment because if I have to pay a health to gain energy, I mean, pay 1 health to turn it into energy. Sure, it can help with the sword, for example, because the sword you pay energy to do more damage to a goblin. But if I have to pay more health, it means that I will have to rest quicker or risk losing everything. Now, where was I? You chose movement by horse. I moved to the goblin. So now that was movement number 3. And guess for movement number 4. Guess for movement number 4. Yeah, for movement number 4, I will stay idle. We will go by foot, and I will stay idle.
Okie doke. Okie dokie.
Now, that was actually an instinct. I will tell you something. I didn't really think which one to pick. I instinctively just chose one. But had I here's what would have happened had I accidentally chosen the ship. I would have actually given you, if I would have chosen to move by ship, I would have unlocked the possibility for you to move and complete the tree dungeon at once. But completing the tree during the day wouldn't have claimed you the archery, because you can't claim another quest at the day, so it wasn't really ruining anything. Anyways, now you need to move by foot 1 step, or stay idle and claim energy or health, your choice.
I guess I'll come over here.
Okay, you're going towards the fire temple. Yeah, fire temple will not really help you at the moment because, like I said, you have to do the temples 1 at a time to clear the staff.
Yes.
So even if you complete the wood and then clear the fire at once, then you won't claim it. You will only gain 1 step forward. However, you can choose. You can actually do it. It can be a smart move to try and start moving inside that dungeon. So the next turn, when you try to claim it, it will take you less tries to do so.
That was literally what.
So yeah, you've moved by foot 1 step after I've moved by 1, and now we're going back to night phase. Now, since you're the first player, you take the 5 dice and you start rolling. Now at the night phase, if you complete the tree, you will claim that you. I'm not sure though as to placement quests if you can claim them like this at the night. I think they're only claimable during the day. Unless I'm wrong, but that won't be. But either way, I don't get it. I won't get it, and neither will you, because we don't have on separate coasts. So, yeah. Okay, so you roll the dice, right? That's what it rolled.
No, I didn't. No, I did.
Oh, that's even worse. Okay, so you gain 2 damage, and I gain 1 damage.
Ouchies.
However, you can also choose to block one of the damages with your energy, because you claim the energy back anyway. You claim 1 energy back.
Okay,
And I will take that damage. Now you have your claim energy, so you gain 1 energy.
Oh no.
And now what's left is the punch one. So I get to choose one of those 2 goblins. I get to punch. And did you decide to go to a goblin this turn? No.
No. I'm all temples.
Now it doesn't really matter which one I pick to fight, because I don't have any advantages on either of them. So yeah, I will fight this one. So this is 1. And now I get to roll. I'm at 4 health, which is really dangerous. By the way, this item is really useful. If you claim this, then when we start a night phase, you roll the dice and you claim health for each energy symbol you got. Okay, so I take 1 damage. I will block that damage. I'll block that 1 damage. The mushroom moves 1 step forward. Yeah, the mushroom moves 1 step forward. Now there's torch and 2. There's 1 torch and 2 scrolls. So for the scrolls, I will move 2 steps forward with this guy. And you, for the torch, you can pay your 2 energy if you want to. You can pay 2 energy to move this guy to the final step, or you can try and see if the roll will be luckier to give you 2 torches so you can progress there.
I will wait.
If I were you, I'm not saying you should do it. If I were you, I would have paid the 2 energy to move him 1 step. And then, depending on the next player's roll, which is me, after your roll, depending on my roll and the whole health status, I would have decided whether to rest or push forward. Because if you move here now, because that was my roll, what I did. If you decide to pay the 2 energy and move right now, since your health is quite low, decide to rest, and then you will complete that quest. While I wouldn't claim anything. Oh, you still have the 2 scrolls for this guy at the fire temple, or 2 scrolls for the guy at the desert. Or 1 for each.
Let's see.
Which one of those do you want more? Do you want the shield more, or do you want the shield more? Though the staff won't help you. So yeah, it's probably the guy with there. Okay, so you move this guy 2 steps forward. Now, as for the torch, I don't know if you do what I suggested, because you were 1 here and it was only 1 torch. Oops. What was the symbol? That one? I forgot it was the torch. One was the torch, and what was the other one? Damn it. It was a torch and I think it was a punch, which I've used already. No, it was a torch and a mushroom. Oops. Now, like I said, you can pay the remaining 2 energy you have here to count this as two torches to move this guy forward 1 step. And then since
I'm not
it
gonna
was
do
my
that
roll and
because
your roll is yet to come,
gonna
you
roll
can
again.
call it rest, complete the wood temple, move your sword 1 step forward, gain the bow, gaining the bow, and still staying healthy. Because if you take the chance and you gain and you'll take a lot of damage now, you will lose all progress. So it's up to you.
I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Okay. Big risk though.
That's okay. Is it my turn?
I'm sure I'm still oh, another reason you should do that before you roll. Why? Because it would mean that you have completed the tree. You would have moved your staff. It would have moved your staff 1 forward, meaning that this guy is already working on progressing the fire. So the next night you will probably gain the staff as well, and you will still have all your health. But if you die now from your roll, you will lose all progress on the tree and the fire, and you'll have to start all over again.
That's why I have the 2 energy.
So
And
I think
why
the
I'm
best
keeping
move
it,
for you,
so just in case I get hit again, I can block
is
it.
to do that 2 energy payment and then rest.
I'm gonna stay right where I'm at.
Very well. Roll your dice then. Ah, lucky. Okay, no damage, no energy, but 2 mushroom movements. So 1, 2. Then there's 1 scroll and 1 torch. And a
Now I
goblin
will
takes
pay
damage.
the 2 energy for that second torch, and I'll gain it.
Very well. I will keep my 2 energy for now, so I won't use the scroll. And I did punch that goblin, so
Strategical,
yeah. So
man.
now, I think I will push it 1 more.
Oh,
Nice. That's nice. If I was trying to learn a spell this turn. So 3 movements of the magic. 1, 2, 3. There was nothing else. Then 1 punch on the goblin. And scroll. 1 scroll. 1 scroll, 1 scroll. 1 scroll doesn't really help me. I don't want to risk the damage, so I guess it's your roll now. Do you want to? Oh, you decided to rest? Oh, now you did the whole progress. So yeah, first thing.
first thing.
Hello?
Shalom.
When did that? What happened? I did that roll, so
Yes.
I understand that after my roll, you decide to do this happened. Your wooden guy returns home. Your wood guy, this guy, returns back home.
Yes.
You get the bow, and you get to equip it on any one of them that you want. There's the bow.
Well, thank you.
Just pick one of the 3 and give it to them. It doesn't really matter at the moment. There's the bow. Very well. And now that he returned home, you can either heal 1 health or gain 1 energy. I should read. I really wish I knew how to meddle with scripting a little bit. I would have added it in a way that it shows on the text how to what was rolled. The problem is, it's the DLC mod, and I bought that mod.
Well, I'd have
Anyways,
to
now
guess that
I'm
they're using C++ language, and I mean, you could easily learn that if you want from a couple of YouTube videos and downloading the program.
anyways,
And
anyways, I guess now it's all rolls up to me. So let's see what happens. Nice, that's a good roll. So I claim one. Oh, I don't claim any energy. No, I actually still claim one energy. Still
I'm gonna
claim
be
one
right
energy.
back. I'm gonna get a drink.
Okay, claimed one energy. I will tell you what happened after it. Claim one energy, and goblin goblins. Goblins. Goblins.
Både med mat, dese og sko. Nei, friskere folk enn deg som var før. Finn du ikke korken noen veldig stør. Tenner så stort umåtelig fast. Gnager og tog. Ta ham og ta fast. Nå har vi fått et symptom å se. Og horvelig mye gammelt du ser. I deg tid gjorde jeg alle ting sjøl. Nå er det
All right, I'm back.
Okay. So I have like this. I gained my energy, and I have 3 goblin attacks, which I can split them into 2 and 1, but I can't be like 1 for 2 goblins. So I can split them. Either I split them or I directly kill one of them. So I guess I will go option B. So 1, 2, 3. This goblin is dead, so it's coming back. It's coming to me, and my max health is 1. My max health goes by 1, and I killed that goblin. And I can't do anything with what remains. I only have 1 torch, and I don't have anybody exploring at the moment. And I'm not gonna pay the energy because it won't help. So let's see one more roll. Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4 energy. 4 energy, but I can only claim 1 energy. 1 torch, which doesn't help me.
How does he get
Since I
rolled
have
like
4
that?
energy, I can use 2.
Lucky. He's lucky.
I'm pretty sure you can do it twice. It's not once per round. So I pay 4 energy. 4 energy to pretend to do it as if I had two scrolls rolled, meaning I will forward 1 here. And as for the final roll, let's see, 1 last roll. Ooh, ouch. 2 damage, which I cannot block. Magic goes up by 2. Oh, first I claim and first I gain 1 more energy back, and then magic goes up by 2. 1,
Correct.
2.
Look at
Okay,
him.
magic went up by 2. Yep, I think it's a lost cause, so I will call it Witsies for now. Meaning that this guy returns home, and I will obviously heal. This one stays
Very
stays put.
obvious.
This one returns
Yes.
home. He did not beat the goblin, so the goblin's back to full health, but I claim 1 more health point. And I did not clear any temples, so nothing else happened. So yeah, we both did rest. Now it's back to adventure time.
Then we
And
go
that
to
was round
resolve.
2. Now we start round 3, and I'm the first player.
Okay. Got new quests here.
Yeah, one says that you have all 3 of your heroes in a diagonal line, but none of them are allowed to be in your temple, in your castle. Oh shit, that means we kind of cheated last time. Because one of them was here and then your other 2 were in those locations. But never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Nah,
I
never
see that
mind.
now in the parentheses.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Never mind then. Okay. So what was that? One of the means we'll have to have a diagonal. All 3 of them in diagonal way. Or in 2 different coasts. Now complete the water temple. Let's see. Let me see. How is that damn water temple? All the way over there, huh? Guess what I'm gonna do is we're gonna move by boat. Do I have the energy to allow it? Yep, I do. Move by boat. I'm gonna move the guy who has the shovel. Although, oh, he passed by 2. God damn it. Then by boat.
What are you doing?
Trying to move by boat. I was trying to get to the water temple, but then I noticed I have 2 goblins in my way.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I take the other way around, it's 1 goblin, but come on, I have 2 goblins in the way. It's not like I can choose, oh, I'll go from this side or this side. It just means from coast to any other coast. So it means from this side to any of the ones surrounding. What does this show? When the equipped hero moves to a map card, immediately roll the dice and gain 1 energy for each roll. So I'm not sure how it goes when it comes to picking the side you move through, because I'm pretty sure you always have to take the path with most resistance when you do so, meaning that it goes through 2 goblins if I go to this one. But at the moment I only have 1 energy. Unless I do this. I will use the gem to convert 1 health into energy. Then I will be able to do it. So I'll pay the 2 energy, moving to this temple. So 2 energy, move to this temple, and I need to roll the dice to see what happens with his shovel. I gain nothing. Gain nothing, and I'm pretty dangerous. So now you get to move by coast.
Okay. Oh. I'll try to take out a goblin this time around.
Seems like a good idea.
Hello?
Huh? Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Oh. You're talking to someone else.
Just make. Oh, then sleep. yeah, those two that I've passed through, need to flip them back to their passive sign. If you don't believe a thing I'm saying, then you can always look here to make sure that what I read, what I understood correctly.
Well, it seems like you know your way around the game. Like you played multiple times.
Well, I haven't played a lot of games, but I did watch people. I did watch videos of how to play. I do have the book next to me, and pretty much every decision I make, I read again and again to make sure it's legal, clear things I do. Even though I know even if I know it's okay, I'm still making sure it is okay. Anyways, what just happened again? You moved by coast. Well,
I
how
moved
did you
right here
stay
to.
idle? Oh, you moved to the goblin from your castle. Okay, doke then. Now you get to pick a way of movement. Oh, I should have gone there. Fucking shit. I've done that. No, I only saw what would have granted me another quest completed. Hey, hello James.
Yo,
Welcome to the table. Uh, no, it's not a deck builder. It's not a deck builder. It's more of a worker placement, test your luck, strategize thing to claim victory points and stuff. Basically, we're almost done. We're like two more rounds remaining in the game. You can watch us and then join us on the next game. On the next game, if he'll do another game with me. So okay, so you've chosen to move by raft. Did you move your character?
no, I'm staying idle.
Wait, so okay, staying idle. Yeah, that's a good call. You don't have anyone to move. Okay. Um. Hmm. I guess I will stay idle as well. So I will gain 1 health because I have a hero on my castle. So that one is flipped. Now I get to choose how to move. I guess I will move. Don't have energy to do it. Damn it. Up to 3 map cards means you can move just 3. You don't have to be only diagonally or only up or only left or right. You can be like an L shape. You can do like 1, 2, 3, like that. There's also a quest one that says that your characters have to be three squares apart, and it describes that way or something. Anyways, I guess I will use the gem. I will use the gem. Yeah, I will use the gem. Meaning I will take 1 damage to claim energy. Actually, you know what? I will take 2 damage. Or can I do it only 1 at a time? It says may convert heart into. I think it's only 1 at a time. Otherwise, it would have said any number. So claimed I did that. And now we shall move by... We shall move by foot. Moving by foot. I will take this guy one step into here, meaning I activate this ability. Move up to 3 here. Move one of your heroes up to 3 cards. 3 cards. So, you know what? Yeah, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And I have to pay 1 energy to do it, which is what I have because I used the gem. And because I moved the skull guy, the guy with the shovel, I don't gain anything. Okay, but I activate this ability. Advance one of your heroes 1 space on a temple track, meaning I will move this guy 1 step forward. So basically, he cleared this dungeon, meaning I can gain the staff. I will give it to him. So completes it immediately. Okay, complete it immediately. But there was no quest up here, so you can still complete a quest. So that was what I did, and since he returned, I will heal by 1. Now it's up to you to move by foot. That was a pretty long combo.
Yeah. Okay. I really want to take down a goblin, so I'm staying idle. I really want to take down a goblin, so I'm staying idle.
Okie doke, staying idle. So we don't move by foot. Okay, now you get to choose horse or also griffin.
Choose horse.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay.
You're gonna stay, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Watch this. Gonna move this guy 1 step to this castle. Or wait, to this castle. Or I can go to the spell, but the spell won't really help me.
tough decision on his end, but in any way,
Let
he
me
does
think.
gain something because he can easily gain 3, but he would already be gaining that.
Yeah, I
one
can see
height.
that diagonally, but it doesn't. Yeah. I have all 3 of your heroes in the diagonal line, each on separate map cards. Oh, it does. It says a diagonal line. So yeah, I will move 1 step forward here. Now, shovel activates. No energy, but I can use. But I get 1 health or 1 energy from the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So I will move.
I totally
back
would have
to
gone
5.
for the energy.
And the quest is complete. This quest is completed. So
See?
flip, meaning
Because
I gain
he
3
would have been
health.
straight up to full health because of that
Would
quest
have
right
been.
there.
So I'm back at max health. And that was my movement by horse. Quite a wasted move. It's quite wasted of me. I kind of wasted that daytime.
Oh,
So,
I wasted it too. I totally could have gone to other cards and then been
no,
straight
I
back here,
definitely
but
wasted since I have nothing else to do. I really just wasted this because I don't progress anywhere. The only way I progressed was the staff, and I gained it. I don't fight any goblins. I have nothing. So
you have
basically-
companionship.
well, we finished 4 nights. We finished our day. So now it's night time, and since I'm starting, I decide to rest. I'm not rolling the dice for this one. So
Okay.
since I decided to rest. They don't move because one is already in a castle, the other one's on a grotto. Those guys don't move, and the third one's already in my castle. So wait. Damn it!
All right, let's do this. No whammies, no whammies. Yeesh.
I guess we're even now. I only noticed it too, since because I was on the castle, it's not legal diagonally.
How do I move the counter?
What? Which one?
The goblin right here. I can't move it
Oh,
slightly.
just press E.
E?
Yeah, not too much. Just
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
just hover your mouse over it and press E. That's it. Yeah, don't even pick it up. Just yeah, that's it. How much damage do you do to him? 1,
2.
2 to this guy. Okay. You can set up at the top. You can see those degrees. Set it to 15. The rotation degrees on the top thing you have.
To
Set it to
15. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I got a scroll and 2 torches. Torches won't do anything, so gotta go with the scroll. I'm not moving that. I'm just moving it slightly because you already completed it.
Okay.
So it wasn't really in. So I'll just move this guy.
Okay, and you still have 2 more punches to the goblin, or 1 punch to each goblin, depending on how you positioned yourself. Oh, you only have 1 goblin, so yeah, it's 2 punches to the goblin. During night, the equipped hero may punch a goblin from an adjacent map card as long as it is not attacking another hero, meaning that when you fight... Oh, you don't have another one close by, so yeah. But had this guy been fighting this goblin, for example, if you fought this goblin, you would have been able to fight 2 goblins at the same time because of the bow.
Yes. Alright, so then
But
I
still,
roll again.
you got 2 damage to him, right? Or is it the ones you did right now?
Isn't that 2
Because
damage?
I've rested, so I decided to rest and not take a risk at this night because
Is that
I don't
like
have
1,
anything
2?
else to do anyways.
Alright. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
1 ouchies.
Ooh.
First you take the 1 ouchie, then
Which I
you reclaim an energy,
There we go.
then the
Energy.
magic goes up by 1. This one. And now you can use the torch and the scroll.
I can't use those. And I don't have enough energy to...
Then either rest or roll some more. Do you want to take a risk with that goblin? Because you take all the damage right now, and if you fail, then every one of your heals.
Oh.
I think you should rest because
That's-
there is still a chance for you to roll 3 damage symbols, and 3 damage symbols means you're dead because you don't have your shield.
Yeah. I was more leaning towards the rest as well. It's a tough decision.
So point-wise at the moment, I'm at the lead.
Yes.
You know, in cases of ties, I think they said that the thing that decides is who has more. I think who completed more quests, and then if this is tied, they go to who has more legendary items. And in case this is tied, they check who learned more spells, or was it the other way around? Something like that. It's a big messed up tie-breaking way. But this game does it automatically.
So it's a resolve round now?
Yeah. Wait, why is your staff still at the beginning? Didn't you complete it to its progression?
Oh yeah. I did.
So yeah, if you complete the Fire Temple now, you will claim the staff. Okay, round 4. We're both at the adventure phase, and wait, you chose to rest, so this guy returned to your castle, and the goblin returned to full health. This guy stays, the other guy stays, so 1 more point of health or 1 more point of energy, because he returned to your castle.
No way! Where'd he go? No! Where's he? Yeah. His connection went out. Oh, that sucks. Here, let's find him on Steam. Okay. So I have... I screenshotted his name just in case this happened. Okay, I found him. Um, he said Steam crashes a lot recently, doesn't it? Wow. Can't believe that just happened, huh? In meiner Jugend habe ich einen Hund vergewaltigt. I think they misspelled that. Nice to see some German players. Excuse me? Oh. The global chat is it's interesting right now. ¿Qué pasa, homie?
Sorry, wasn't in a room. Wasn't in the room at the moment. Hold on. Let's see. So you blue, green, or yellow?
Azure.
Azure. There you go. This time I say we should wait for people to join.
Okie
As
dokie.
you saw people. Yeah, let's wait.
I'm fine with waiting. You ever play PlayStation 2?
Of course. I had one. I was young. I was younger, but yeah, I remember PlayStation 2.
What were your favorite games on it?
I played Kingdom Hearts. I played. I had the Crash Tag Team Racing.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, the Tag Team Racing it was the amusement park one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Was it Roller Coaster Typhoon?
No, I mean for the Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, the Crash Bandicoot. There was an amusement park one for the tag team racing.
What I meant was it's a Crash. It takes place in an amusement park story. Not really. I mean, I still don't understand what kind of park it was. Hold on. Okay then. We are gonna wait. I don't know if people are gonna join.
I always felt like this trunk was off.
Hmm?
this tree trunk, it has no rings.
Oh. Uh, guess it's just moss or something.
Oh, it's got moss on there. Yeah.
Either that or somebody just cut it around in a way, you know, shaped it to look a little bit like that. Seems like people don't like those tiny games, huh?
You got any RPG figures?
Nope. Oh. What do you mean by RPG figures? Like for games or something? For here?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Like instead of the
Then,
meeples, we can use.
then no, I don't have any.
Uh, Usually the game comes with default RPG figures. I was just asking if you had any other ones.
Like I said, it's the basic one that they've set up in the shop in the DLCs. So that's what they had in it. Uh, I can look the workshop and see maybe there's a different tiny epic one or something. But just having a look.
Okay.
Unless you know of a dungeon crawler game that I can search for.
Um, I mean, I'd have to check my games to know if I had any easy dungeon crawlers. It's been a while since I've been on Tabletop Simulator. I just downloaded a couple more games for a higher amount of like a party of people.
Yeah, me too. I haven't played a lot. I've been. I was playing more the Xbox, more PlayStation, and than being on my computer.
So you like Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, I've played all games. Well, not exactly all games. I played the main series. I haven't played the side stories. What was playable anyway? I played one. I played one, which I've completed it a couple of times. Played the Chain of Memories. Never got to finish it because I don't like the cards mechanic in it.
I feel you.
358 over 2. Rox's story. I unfortunately I never got the chance to be able to play it.
It's a good one. It's a good one story wise.
Yeah. I mean, not even I tried on emulators, but it's just not comfortable to play it on an emulator. It's just Kingdom Hearts is one of those games that you must play with with an actual controller, because on emulator with the keyboard it's just less comfortable to try and navigate the movements and stuff.
Oh, are you using Windows?
Yeah. Uh, Other than that, 358 over 2 I haven't played. I did play Birth by Sleep. Loved it.
Me too.
Birth by Sleep. I've played 2.8. I mean, I've played 2, I've played 2.8. Which 2.8 was, the Dream Drop Distance and Recoded, but Recoded I didn't get to play it as well. I heard it's not worth playing because it's just a bunch of weird mini games, and the story is not even there. It's not even Sora. I know. I heard it's not interesting.
Actually, Recoded. It was the first one Kingdom Hearts game I played. So the gameplay is actually all natural, and then little mini games here and there, but it's not like that. But once you
Yeah,
get
but
to
Story-wise, it's not really interesting. It's a bit
Correct.
weird when it comes to waiting for the main story game. Uh, we thought it was fun. Then there's Dream Drop Distance, which I played, I finished it. It was fun. I like the Dream Drop Distance game, the whole summoning those little Dream Eaters and switching between Sora and Riku every now and then, even mid combat. Sometimes that swap actually saved my ass from losing to a boss.
Yes.
What else? Yeah, Dream Drop Distance and then 3, and then Kingdom Hearts 3, which I finished Kingdom Hearts 3, which was a bit disappointing than the whole hype it had, but it was a bit disappointing. As for the DLC, I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, the first part of the DLC, sure, it's fine, okay, I get it. They show you what happened to Sora, sure. But the second part, where you play as Riku, where you play as Digital Sora in all of those fights, dude, what the hell are they trying to do there? It was super hard. The only one I did manage to beat was Larxene, and I don't even know how I managed to do it. And not let alone mention if you ever manage to reach the final boss, which is Yuzora. If you do manage to get to fight him, he's the hardest Kingdom Hearts boss in all games ever.
I haven't played any of the DLCs for Kingdom Hearts 3 yet, so I wouldn't know.
Well, they don't. You don't. You're not losing a lot. I mean, all they do was the first part of it is that you basically play the final hour of the game, the whole Keyblade graveyard, with Sora trying to find what happened to Kairi and all, trying to save her, blah blah blah, like in time travel bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part is where you use the whole digital world again, refighting the entire organization as Sora, fighting the entire organization. And trust me, every fight is hard. I mean, you need to be a super great reflexes and know how to dodge and stuff, or be too overpowered. Let's see what games can I find.
One of my favorite games to play is Hentai Uno.
Really, anti Uno.
Yeah, I wouldn't download that though. Don't do it.
I'm not. Let's think what else we have. Pokemon. Oh, there's a lot of Bloodborne. I always wondered how you play Bloodborne, the game itself.
It has to be easier than the game.
Oh, I wish. Bloodborne.
So if you're on a laptop with Windows, you can connect an Xbox One controller via USB.
Yeah, and set it up to the control, map the controls and everything, and then play like this, which is probably a good idea. But on emulators, this game still works kind of wonky. It's not really not really smooth working. It's you know.
Are you using an emulator?
That's what I'm saying. If I'm using an emulator, then the game itself, that's the only way I can play the game, because the version they have right now, the version they have on the PlayStation, the Xbox, it's in the whole collection thingy. It's just watch the cutscenes. They're not even letting you. It's not the play. It's just watch the cutscenes. Like watch the cutscenes and read a little bit of story recap. Watch cutscenes, read recap. Which is basically why the latest Kingdom Hearts game is a bit of a waste of money. Still fun though, but it's waste.
I had no idea what he was
The
talking
one,
about. I was just giving him a tip.
melodies thingy. It's basically Kyrie recapping the entire story from Kingdom Hearts 1 all the way to the end of 3, trying to figure out what happened to Sora. So, yeah. And there's definitely gonna be another Kingdom Hearts game. I'm probably gonna fold for tonight actually. A bit late.
Yeah, there was a lot of cut scenes in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, just went on forever.
No, 3 was fine. A bit disappointing because it's way smaller than expected, but it was fine.
It's confusing me now. I know Kingdom Hearts 3 was fine, but were we not talking about the cutscenes being, like, there being a lot of them? It's okay. I give him benefit of doubt for being in another country. You know, English might not be his first language. I have to deal with all the time at work. Just gotta be patient.
Dungeons of Infinity. That looks interesting. Explore an unknown dungeon with up to 5 heroes. Dungeon is created randomly as you explore. Experience over 100 different events that are randomly generated. Each game is a completely different experience. Never play the same game twice in your lifetime. Single game or campaign play are available property or competitively. The game system adjusts to either. Dungeon enemies track you, lay in wait for you, or follow you. The game system controls the events. As you explore the dungeon, each hero has a different way in, which they drew unwanted attention. They do unwanted attention. It is up to you, the player, to manage and control your exposure in the dungeon. Combat is decided by dice rolls, but the damage is not random.
I heard nothing of that except dungeon, random.
Looks
Dungeon.
interesting.
What was it called? Infinite Dungeon?
Dungeons of Infinity.
Oh.
I mean, and even if it has a campaign, it's good. I mean, me and my bro trying to get into Dungeons and Dragons, trying to build characters and stuff, but
But what?
whenever we find the time to actually do it, we just don't feel like it. That's a big problem, you know. I started working on a month. Me, him, and another friend with us are planning. I did excellent rolls for that monk. I mean, I rolled my dice rolls. I did the whole roll for d6s and take the lowest one. These were 17, 14, 2 13s, and 2 11s.
This
Dang.
monk will be, if I place it correctly, this guy would basically be better be level 5 at the beginning than
So you guys would be playing fifth edition if you actually started playing.
yeah, if we ever do. I was thinking, theoretically, this Dungeons and Dragons game, sure, they have the whole books and stuff, but theoretically, you can also make a session, a campaign and a session, without using the books at all.
Correct.
Theoretically, though, because the dungeon master can come up with the can decide specific rules that happen in the story he's about to tell, and just roll with it.
Yes. That's exactly what I do when I host my dungeons, except we use second edition, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It's a lot more loose on the rules, and so I get to bend them however I'd like.
Oh, uh, oh. One day you have a session, and me and my bro, if you're doing it through, are you doing like sitting at a table, or you doing it through tabletop?
Uh, well, because of the whole pandemic situation, we've been trying tabletop, but I just started work again. It was normally we'd go and meet up at one of our houses.
Don't tell me it's doing it again. So you were saying,
What?
you were saying, but I was trying to say that maybe me and my bro can join if you're doing it through tabletop.
Well, I can always put you through beginner quests if you'd like.
Well, we've tried to go through one story once, and I don't remember. I don't think we ever actually did end it because we just uh, probably the DM didn't have patience. It was like this, talking through the mic. The DM didn't have enough patience, and we kept, you know, we couldn't keep not doing stuff. So talking stuff. So eventually, I think he gave up. So we were like, nah, that's it. It was as if we couldn't play. We were arguing too much. So yeah, classic.
You won't get any arguing from me. I've made a lot of beginner players. You know, that's basically all I did because every time I went over, there'd always be another new player. You know, it's totally fine. We can make you guys characters and set you off onto quests right away, and you can ask any questions.
Well, if it's in the sixth in the second edition, then what's the difference basically, other than the whole rules thing?
Oh, the biggest difference is that the lower your number is, as in your AC, the or attack, the better.
Yeah. Oh, so instead of as high as you can, it's the lower the better. The other way
Correct.
around.
Yep. And
I got a question for you. How the hell are you supposed to roll a d4? It's a triangle, for crying out loud. How are you supposed to roll it?
I give it a couple of shakes, you know, and then I
I mean,
just drop it with
I'm
both
sure
my
that 100 times, if you shake your hands 100 times and roll it roll the die 3 times, probably 2 out of those 3 times will give you the same result.
yes, but
So
all
I
the
got a
numbers are
2.
equal on each side. So
Whoops!
I don't really like the D4 personally.
I got a 2 again. It fell off the table and hole and it rolled another 2.
I thought you were gonna ask how do you roll a D3? I'm like, well, you normally just roll a D6 and then halves it.
Oh, you roll a D3? There's a D3?
Sometimes the game requires you to roll D3s, and there's no D3 dice. There's some concepts that you can go and get and you can have sent to you, or you can 3D print it out if you have a 3D printer. But the old way is to roll a D6 and then halves it.
So, well, if you can play with us, and if we can do it on tabletop, then that would be fun to actually make a session. You can ask my bro when he'll tomorrow when he'll be back from work if he wants to try.
I don't know about the time zones there and the time difference, but we normally play late at night. Right now it's 2:02 in the afternoon for me.
It's about 12:30. It's about 10, because no, yeah, it's like 9 hours back from you. So basically, it means that when you do it, when do you do it? About when hour? In which hour do you do a session like?
We we usually do it about 10.
Right now it's 11:02 here, p.m.
11:03.
So
And you're 9 hours
11:03,
ahead.
so, yeah, 9 hours ahead of you. For I was saying back towards from us. So 9 hours back. So if it's 10, then I guess it means 7 p.m. here.
Is that early for you?
No,
Okay.
that's that was wait. So we are 9 hours ahead of you. So we get
Correct.
you at 10 p.m. At 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
10 p.m. So yeah, 7 a.m. Quite early.
I've been getting up around that time, so
On weekends, if I don't work and he doesn't work, then we can possibly join you on sessions. But
if it's the weekend,
just
that's
to
that's the
scrub
best.
up a little, just to scrub up a little bit more toward D&D and stuff. I mean, we've been searching for people to play with. I was telling him, nah, it's just me, you, and him on voice every now and then what's the point? And even if it's not just the three of us, if he brings friends there, and we need to hear them, all of his room through his PlayStation mic, and they need to hear us, that's a bit of a problem. So, like, playing like this is way better. If we could play with him, if we could do a few sessions. So if I want to make a character now, would you help me? I could make a character and see how it goes.
Right now,
Nobody joins anyways. I was like, I'm thinking. I mean, no need for a story. Just I can think of the story as we go along. You know, like I mean, I've seen I've seen a version of D&D about heroes, and one of the backgrounds they said something about if the player just can decide which one he wants to play, then he can state that it's that the hero basically has amnesia, like he doesn't remember why he's there, and as they go through the dungeon, the DM can help jog it up, like build it, kind of something like that.
We were gonna make new characters anyway.
The hardest part is to pick what's your type. Story-wise, it's really easy to come up with a story once you have a general idea.
Oh, you mean a personal character backstory?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the,
I mean, you could do that.
should we, if we would have chosen to like start making one at the moment, how do we do it? How do we start? How do we make one?
I mean, you don't really need a backstory, like you said. You could just do the amnesia thing, but it's mostly
No,
just.
I mean make a character generally. How do we make one?
Oh, well, you need a chart to help you do that, and then a six-sided die.
Oh, I've got a few. I've got a digital version of it, but it's for the fifth. I think it's for the fifth edition. The character sheet, unless the character sheets are the same anyways.
They are not.
Ah. Well, that's the fifth edition one, I think. The one with all those.
Yeah, let me find a picture of it, and I'll send it to you, and then we could go ahead and start rolling on that if you'd like.
What's the difference of what's the difference anyways in the character sheet? What else? What did they add? What did they remove?
Reisa til bandet han fronter, Sohoy Blues, er formidabel og dramatisk.
You will see.
Den begynte som interne flyktning etter at de måtte rømme Nord-Mali da jihadistene overtok i 2012. I Malis hovedstad Bamako samlet de bandet og tok
Can't
navnet
find
etter
one.
folkegruppa de kom fra, Sohoy-folket. Og musikalsk har de også vært en feiring av ørkenbluesen fra nord. Så ble de spottet av Damon Albarn da han satte opp sitt Africa Express. Noen av mine lyttere vil kanskje
Sheet.
se dem under avslutningen av Roskilde-festivalen i 2015 var det vel.
Huh.
Music
Wow.
Exile heter altså debuten i 2015, og i 2017 kom albumet med den like meget signende
Okay.
Men nå er det
Kind of looks kind of a bit more messy than the regular than the one than the fifth edition one.
No, so I just looked up second edition character sheet on Google as well, and they're not pulling up the right one.
We know that the last 10 years was very hard for Mali in general, and specifically the north of Mali, and we are from there as well. So what we can do as a musician, also from Malian citizens, is to promote
AD&D second edition character sheet.
union, about bring those people together to show them that they're all
So-
Malian citizens.
Fordi Mali er et land, Tuaregene i nord har lenge krevd selvstendighet. I området rundt Timbuktu, midt i landet,
Now, where is it? Okay.
Tell me if it's this by any chance.
Som du også vil møte i nabolandet. Det er det her mangfoldet Aliou vil utnytte.
Oh, it's not an image. I was
The cultural diversity in Mali. That is something important, very important, that we can
Oh,
use
it's a PDF.
to bring people
Damn it.
together, and it can be happen through the music, because when we play.
I mean, it starts
Mali,
by at the top. There's the whole character with a huge line, then alignment, race, class, level, then player's name, family, race, clan, homeland, liege, patron, religion. All the characters' basic attributes and information. Then there's a small square here for the abilities, which on the left has the strength, dex, con, int, wiz, and charisma from top to bottom, and on the right it has it has a slightly bigger box with hit probability, damage adjustment, weight allow, max press. That's the page.
The only issue for people from there in the north to be safe is to move to the south, and that's when the band was more.
It should be a lot shorter than that. I actually have the my edition stuff within TTS, and you're able to type on the papers and the character sheets and everything.
Make a join you there then, so we can open one.
Okay. Let's try to load this in before he gets in here because it's probably gonna crash his stuff. Oh, he just got in.
I saw that mod earlier, something like that. I saw there's a lot of mods for the engine for D&D, a lot of them. So let's say theoretically that we make a character. Is it possible to go through a really short one-timer starter campaign just out of the go without any big preps and stuff?
Can you say that again?
Is it theoretically possible? Like making a story on the go, something like that?
I mean, if you know the map and the areas, yes, you can.
Hardcore? Really?
So here's the character sheet. I don't know where you're sitting. Right now you're spectator.
What? Wait. So this is the character sheet.
Yes. It's simplified, and the
So you hear me?
yes. Oh yes. I forgot to toggle the chat the whole time. I'm sorry.
So do you think a one-on-one kind of session is possible for a beginner, like, or maybe we can find players to join here and do a quick, improvised on-the-go session, like one-time go? Because I've been trying to think of a campaign, but I just can't seem to build it. It just seems to drive me crazy. I was trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of a vampires versus werewolves campaign storyline, or even a one-time. And
Okay,
I've
I
already,
gotcha.
and I keep having changes in ideas and logic to what the big bad guy is, or big plot twist can happen there, stuff like that. Pizza.
Bone apple
Have
titty.
you played Mortal Kombat? Not Mortal Kombat. Have you played Injustice 2?
I haven't played Injustice. I've definitely played Mortal Kombat.
Well, Injustice 2. Oh, I can't. I'm just a spectator. So yeah,
Just remember to
let's
press
build one.
additive load.
Let's build one. Let's say purple. That's for it. Additive load.
Yes, when
Oh,
you
first
want to
I'll
load
say-
something in, just press additive load instead of load.
No, I don't need the pizza, so I'll just. Can you remove them for now to keep just the basic things here, so I can save the mod and move out what's not needed? Just go bye bye.
I don't.
That's how you throw away food without feeling guilty that nobody would claim to eat it. Hey, a pizza slice? Whee! If I do delete now, does it delete it completely? It doesn't delete it from yours completely. It just removes it from now, and I can still do. Unless if I click save, it will not save it as it is. It will just save the mod itself.
Oh, you're talking about this, all of this?
Yeah, yeah.
You personally cannot click. You can't highlight the lock stuff.
Oh,
You-
no, I meant saving for saving stuff.
To bring them some happiness,
Yeah,
smile,
D&D second E.
melody, and dance
Oh, it's just the first quest. It's called?
they've been through.
This is the first quest, yes. This is a beginner quest.
Now I think they
Huh.
deserve more than that.
I
So
would have done it
give
solo
them
if it was a
happiness
potential,
that
but
is
I really don't
very
know
important for us.
worth if it's a good, if it's fun or worth it.
It's a fun first quest. I like it.
When we
I've
wish
done
I
it.
I wish I could play, but anyways, let's start building one. That's the character sheet.
we was like, what? Oh, when we walked
So I take it that I'm probably
after you, and it is a unique sensation.
oh, the position I'm sitting doesn't matter at the moment.
No, you can personally just go around and pick which beginner character you want to, or if you want to make your own, we can totally
Oh,
do
that's a
that.
specific character.
These are
But I need
already
to build-
pre-made characters, yes.
Oh, I thought I need to build one.
No, these are. I normally use them as demonstrations of characters building within races and class.
I guess we can build a character that's not one of the pre-mades, unless it's not really recommended. What do you think?
No, I told you we could make you a new character.
Oh, very well then. Let's go for it. I'll take the name I picked for the monk, but I won't take a monk. I'll call him Shaft. That's how he's called, Shaft. And it's a human. I'll go with Shaft. So
Are you looking for more players, or you guys already? built up?
basically, I'm still just building my first character.
That's like all we're doing. I was trying to make a demonstration of how he can make one.
Just use D&D Beyond.
This is second edition.
Oh yeah, true. Well, good luck with that.
Bye.
Well, since it's a build adventure, after I finish making him, we can try and find people to play a small session if it can work. You're the expert one. I don't know if it can be.
I normally need prep time, and to gather my buddies because they've been wanting to play recently. So it won't be long. I mean, tomorrow's Friday, so we all could be there.
Yeah, and maybe my bro will join us as well for a quick. Though I don't know if he will have enough time to do it. Let's build the character, then we'll think about how it goes tomorrow. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. So first thing, his name's Shaft. He's a human. Why don't I have the whole writing that he's a human and stuff? There's only this page.
That'd just be his race. I usually put it right next to
Okay,
the name.
Shaft the human. Human. What are my options for classes at the moment? In the second edition? I have the
Wizard. This one is actually dual class, which is a fighter wizard.
What?
He is a dual class. He's the only dual class in these pre-made.
Oh. So I got a fighter, I have wizard. I'm not going with dual class because it's a bit advanced for a moment.
You got thief,
Fighter, wizard, thief.
cleric,
Uh-huh.
and then there's another fighter, but that one's a dwarf.
I think I will go to my default and pick the wizard.
Wizards are fun.
I always like wizard. I always liked wizards.
I normally
In
make
many
a wizard.
RPGs, I've always gone with wizards. Even in Skyrim, I tried to find out how to learn to be magic player, but Skyrim was a bit of overwhelming of a game for me to actually play correctly, especially as a wizard. The only times I don't play a wizard is when playing a wizard is a bit of a big mess. Like, uh, like I said, Skyrim. You don't manage the alchemy correctly, then you won't be able to do the whole, not alchemy. If you don't manage to describe the whole skill for extracting the souls, then you won't be able to improve your weapons to have something about mana that enables you to do it, but you can still be a mage. Or
Uh,
anyways, I'm a wizard. Now
word
what?
word of warning: in this edition of D&D, a wizard levels up very slow. But when you do get to a higher level, as in like level 5, that's when you start getting beefy.
I don't think that the problem would be wizard being leveling up too slow for me.
Oh, it's slow.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be the problem for me. Speaking from my point of view, I mean it could work. I know he levels up slow, and as far as I understand, leveling up means more spells and better stats.
Correct.
But I'm pretty sure there's something that's stabilizing it to the other way for because he levels up slow. So armor AC is 20.
Armor class is not 20. I'm sorry. So if he has robes on, he would be an armor class of 10.
Okay, that's something permanent every time, right?
Because wizards can't
Oh,
wear anything but
like from
robes.
what I see from him, it's not only because it's a pre-made character. It's every time like this. Or
Because he has robes. You can only wear robes, so it's always going to be armor class of 10 unless you have something magic that you have on, like a protective ring of protection.
oh, okay. Meaning I should probably stay up power in combat, like every other wizard.
Oh yeah, big time. And if you want help with this, you can go into a DOS emulator, play like pool. They're all based on second edition stats and gameplay.
Anyways, what's Thaco or whatever that is?
Uh, Thaco, it is an abbreviation for to hit an armor class of 0. So
Oh shit! So that means you need to be super lucky to actually hit.
let me get a D20. Copy that. Okay, and you
What does
have
that
to.
mean?
So for your initiative roll, you need a roll to hit the armor class first to see if you even hit. You need to get 20 to hit
So you need
its
to.
armor class.
So basically, he only hits on a net 20. Unless his spells help or help in a different way.
So if an enemy's armor class is 0, you need hit 20. But if it's armor
Oh, I
class,
forgot that you said. Oh, you said earlier that 0 is the highest, like highest armor.
it isn't the highest. You can actually go below 0.
Oh, so basically, so that means that to hit 0, you need a 20. So if, for example, let's say that we encountered something with a AC of
5.
AC 5. I was actually thinking 5 earlier, but I was like, nah, 5 is still is a little high. Let's go with the lowest you can. Like the lowest armor that the easiest one, the easiest one.
Oh, the easiest one to hit?
Yeah.
That'd be an enemy with an armor class of 20.
Okay, hitting an enemy of an armor class of 20. Let's just say that I try to hit one with 15. Okay, let's say that one has 15. How does this affect my trying to hit him?
So that's the number you need to roll to hit an armor class of 20. So if it has an armor class of 15, you only need to roll 5.
Wait, so this one this one you said it's when it has 0.
That's your number that you need to hit.
Yeah, when he has
To
0, I
hit
need to
0,
roll
yes.
20. So if he had 5, I need to roll 15 to. If he had 5, I need 15 to hit. Like this? That's how it balances?
Correct.
Oh, now I get it. Every point from 0 up, it means 20 minus that amount to know how much I need to hit.
Yes.
I get it now, so I get it.
I know it's a little confusing.
Yeah. Because I know in the 5th edition there's difficulty class and stuff. I did get to DM once, and got them to an end of a chapter, really sort of a chapter. But I almost killed one of them because I miscalculated and sent way too many enemies and came up with too much bullshit. So yeah, so I took a human wizard, armor class is 10, echo 20. Now how do we start rolling for?
So for a wizard's hit points, you roll a d4 once. I know that sucks.
D4 once.
There's a d4.
Do you roll like this, or do you prefer with pressing R multiple times?
You can press R multiple times. It doesn't matter.
2.
Yes, it's a 2.
That's a
So you got 2 hit points.
holy shit, that's low.
Oh, I know. But the thing is, when you hit 0, you're unconscious. You're not dead. When you hit -10, you're dead.
Ah. Okay.
Then you're starting
Does
equipment.
a wizard have types of wizard, or is it just master of the, or is it the aggressive spellcaster, while cleric is the same as wizard, only healer? Like wizard that professions with that uses more elemental magic, or a wizard that uses necromancy instead, stuff like that. Or does wizard have access to basically all the aggressive ones, while cleric is the more healing ones?
Right now, this classifies as wizard, which initially you're gonna be under the category of magic user, so you're all around. I wouldn't go into colleges yet, but you can later on in a more advanced game.
But okay. So for equipment, or do I roll for stats other than health?
Oh, yeah, you do roll for other stats. I don't know why they're not on here.
Ah,
Usually there's a line in the middle of the
then
character
why does it
sheet.
do nothing. And I think you turned off the mic.
I did. I guess I did. I've been explaining things.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. That's just great. You can go into different colleges if you'd like, but I wouldn't until you're into a more advanced play. And then yes, you do have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma to roll for. There's usually a line. There's usually a line on the character sheet to to write that out, but I guess it's not there.
You have another sheet? Do you have another character sheet to try and spawn? Maybe it's a glitch or something?
Well, on the actual character sheets that I have, they have a line for you to write all that down. On these scanned ones, they're not here. So I'm pretty sure it gave us something to note on. I remember that last time I got onto here. Right now, I would actually put that in the money if you'd like. I mean, write it all down there.
Oops.
Oh, where'd you
Damn
go?
it. What did I do? I tried to delete the...
Press Control Z.
Control Z. I'm trying, it doesn't do. Cool.
Better? Is it all there? Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah. It's all there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, I'll write it in money. Or I can do it in equipment, which has more space, but
I mean, you could, if you'd like.
I'll do it in equipment, just in case. That's fine. Six. Int. What else was it? Wisdom. Charisma.
Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma.
Oh.
Strength, dexterity,
And
institution, wisdom, charisma, and constitution. Okay, and you'd be rolling the six-sided die twice for each one.
Okay. Do I have to do it by order or just place it after it?
Twice for each one. You roll it twice, you add up, and then that number will be what you rolled for like strength or dexterity. So you got 9.
That's a 9.
But I'd write those
And
off
you-
to the side first, so you can decide where you want to put them.
9. Let's see. Ah. Hey, hold on. Ooh, ouch. That's 6. Probably 6 will go to the needless one. Unless I get something even worse. Seven. Why does it keep going on 1?
I'm not doing it.
That's what I don't understand. 'Cause every time I started rolling, it did 1. So
Just some bad luck.
probably. Do you happen to have this die rack where you put the die on top and it rolls it inside or something?
Oh, you're wondering if I have a dice tower?
Yeah. Though I don't know if here it does it unless, or if here it does it to put them in and then it rolls, or does it do it?
I mean, I could
Now
very
for
easily get one. I think I do
Anyway,
have
now-
one, but I have another
Now
one
for
in mind.
serious, let's see. That's a 2 and a 5. That's another 7. Okay. How many do I have left? 2 more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, those.
Okay, that's a 6. And look, I turned a Dr. Pepper into a Pepsi. Okay, that's another 9. The last one will be...
You don't want to put it in the dice tower? You gotta...
See what I meant? Anyways, the last one was a 7. I'm not sure if it's an okay rolls for.
Yeah, they're all fine. Uh, so since you're a wizard, I would put that more towards intelligence.
Yeah, so I will put the 9 in intelligence. Oh, not there. 9 goes to intelligence. 1 9. That one is seven. Oh, here's one of the 9s. Uh, next. Uh, so intelligence 9. I'll build in a way that accordance to what I see there. After intelligence, charisma is important for him.
Charisma's yeah. I mean, I would go for more charisma. That's what I was more
So,
thinking.
so I'll put 9 in the charisma file. I'll put my second 9 in the charisma tower. Then I have 6 and 3 servants. Which one do I really not need? I guess I will put 6 to
Uh,
strength.
I mean, I guess you wouldn't really need that much dexterity.
Does that seem fine?
Yes, yes, that seems actually perfect for what
I don't
you
know
got there.
if it's the same here, but according to what I know in the 5th edition, that means that I will basically have negative for strength, dexterity, for everything at the moment.
No,
Negative modifiers for everything. I
you,
don't know
you
if
you
here
won't have
there's
negative.
modifiers or not here.
It all stays the same,
Hmm?
depending on if you have a weird race, such as an elf or a dwarf. There'd be added bonuses within certain
Wait,
stats.
doesn't a human gain 1 for everything? How does as a human?
Un momento, por favore.
Hmm. 3 5s in a row.
Das ist gut. Das ist sehr gut.
That's a 2. I'm just testing the dice tower.
I mean, there's not much to test out unless you're using a
I'm just making. No,
physical.
I'm just checking if it's really rolling it when I just place the dice on top of it, or is it just a stupid thing?
Oh,
or
you're
is
talking
it
about in there.
successful
Yeah,
roll?
yeah, it
Yeah,
rolls.
I'm just testing it. If it really does work, or is it just something that for fun?
If you want, I can get one that is guaranteed for It's okay.
Uh,
It's guaranteed. Oh, I was in the right one.
so if once we're finished with this character, what can we do? What can we do?
Uh, what do you mean? What can we do?
What would we do? Can we do it? Do you think we could find any some sort of a session to join with them with this or something, or just to test it out to start learning a bit? 'Cause-
Oh, sure. But I mean, I would screenshot your character sheet first
Oh
before you
yeah, I
move
have my
on.
phone right next to me. I can I can screenshot it. Wait, that's everything?
Um, I I would add one to each then.
Yeah, because it's a human. That's what I was asking.
I was trying to find it, but this rule book is it's very short compared to the actual rule book. I was trying to double check things because I know more on the elf and dwarf side of things. So it's trash. Oh,
That's a 10. That's an 8. And that's a 7. So here we go.
I think I found it. No, I
So
didn't.
according to what I understand now, intelligence and charisma I have 0 modifiers. Well, dexterity, constitution, and wisdom I have -1, and strength I have -2.
Don't minus anything.
No, I meant for the rolls themselves, like the modifiers for the rolls, or doesn't it, or the second edition doesn't have those modifiers?
It does not have those modifiers, no.
Oh, okay.
The modifiers are more on weapons kind of spectrum. Humans basically don't really have any modifiers unless they pick a certain class. From my knowledge right now.
No, what I meant was that in the fifth edition, there's the whole proficiency bonus and the whole
Oh, I know what you're
plus
talking
2
about.
to rolls or -2 to rolls, stuff like that. But
No,
everything at its time. So now that I've rolled my stats, what's the next phase?
getting you some equipment.
Getting
Yes.
some equipment. Okay then.
And then before we start, you need to decide on which spells you want to use during the day, because you only can use 2 spells each day. Every time you rest.
Well, 2 spells each day.
Mm-hmm. And only level 1 spells.
Oops. Okay. Okay. Why is it in the center of the page? But it would go to the side of it, and then I would have, made a.
Colombia er en veldig spesiell posisjon i kontinentet. Det er som en
What about that?
lappeteppe, heter det.
I'll put it all the way there.
Veldig forskjellige filer. Det er stort sett 5 filer som utgjør dette landet.
You might want to leave some room because it's going to try going to the second indent.
Kulturelle grupper
Oops.
vil ha sagt at det som verden kjenner igjen, er det
So,
andre
saying go slightly
også
back.
den karibiske kultur. Colombia har begge kulturene.
Slightly back. Will this cover it?
Sør, vest og hele
I think.
Colombia, som er veldig høye fjell
Depends on how many characters you're going to use.
på 2600 meter over havet.
At the moment,
Men også
just
har vi en
one,
lang
and
Norden, har vi en lang kyst ved
I really wanted to try, but I don't have any way to do it at the moment.
som har selvfølgelig et helt annet type
Okay, so here's my stats
mat,
at the side.
kultur, type musikk.
Now,
Men
equipment itself.
det er også en annen type som
You were saying watching first level spells.
også det er kysten en annen
I pick one of the to pick two of the first level ones, right?
And you can always use the second one if you'd like.
Pick one of the two first level ones, which I have no idea what the spells themselves do. Oh, nor do I have any idea what the story is
Oh,
that we're gonna do.
so that's a book. That's a book. If you hover over it and you press 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it goes up to 8. It'll tell you which spells. Right now, that's just an index. So if you go to the third page, you can really get into the details of each one for the first
Oh,
level
those are all
spells.
the first levels?
And second level spells start right there.
Oh, I see.
So you got
yes.
plenty to go for. I normally go with magic missile.
Well, considering the fact that my health is really shitty and my stats are quite low, I think I should take the shield. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna put my spells, or I can just always keep adding one.
Det er ikke typisk El Cajon, er ikke typisk på La Música Llanera. Så
Why does it always start from the middle?
ja, det som er rart med
I'll write the spells here.
det instrumentelle
Normally on the back of the sheet there would be the spells, but on the scan they didn't put it.
I et så isolert region i Colombia og Venezuela, så brukes det harpen.
I gave you another character sheet so that you could have enough room to write stuff.
The question is, what's gonna be filling more, the spells or the equipment?
The equipment would fill in more. Here, let me try to go get
Then
some
I guess I will
notebooks.
keep the. Then I guess I will put the equipment in the empty one, and here I will write the second one. Here I will just write the name of the spells I have.
Og så bandola, som er en string
At the moment it's only
som
two.
pleide å
So I will take shield.
av harpen før. Nå spilles det begge deler. Og så dette bandet har gjort noe
Shield spell.
eksperimentert
And
med instrumenter. Som El Cajon, for eksempel. Bass, det er
so how does shield work again?
det er
I cast it on myself and
til bass, for eksempel. Det har
5
også
rounds.
Cimarron gjort.
Calculates invisible barrier in front of the wizard. The shield spell automatically stops all magic missiles or other attacks. One wizards using a shield spell armor class 3. Wow, that's a high. They also get a +1 bonus for saving throw against attacks from the front. Attacks from the side and from the behind are not affected. So let me get this straight. If I'm using a shield, then for 5 turns I have this extra protection for 5 rounds, depending on my level. Which for the moment it's 5 rounds. I get my shield. If I cast shield spell during a combat to protect myself or something, then from the front, all magic missiles are not gonna hit me at all. And regular attacks from the front, I have high defense against them, like AC 3.
It's attacks from the side and from behind that you cannot get hit by.
It's just that they are not affected. From side and behind are not affected.
Oh, it's not affected from the shield, so it's solely in front of your body.
Yeah, so if I protect myself from the front, magic missiles coming towards me will not hit at all. While melee attacks or arrows or something something small, small or big, or just a frontal attack of some kind that is not a magic missile will need to roll 17 to hit me. And I get a +1 for bonus for the saving throws if I try to, saving throw.
Do you know what a saving throw is?
I remember it means something. Actually, I quite forgot. I need a reminder of how it works. I know it means. I think it has something to do with rerolls, but I don't remember exactly.
Oh, so if something aerial is coming towards your guy, your saving throw will allow you to uh, dodge it if you hit the saving throw uh, number.
So, and if I'm using my shield spell and it comes from the front, then I will have a +1 to the roll.
Correct.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
How do I? So I got a note card thing, and I don't know how to use it. Hold on. Character stat blocks. Nope.
That's the story, the Tomb of the Mirror. That's the dungeon.
Sammen med Bob Marley og Peter Tosh så skapte han på 1960-tallet trioen som endret musikkhistorie. Og hvis du trenger en påminnelse, så vil jeg anbefale serien Small Axe som ligger på NRK TV akkurat nå, og som også sendes på fjernsyn. Den forteller historie om jamaikansk innvandring til England på 1960-tallet, og historie fra tida mellom 1968 og 1981.
What about a story?
So that tomb is basically the story.
Oh yes, and this is the town. There's normally a backside to this. Actually, can I flip it? There we go. I just had to just not have it locked. Okay. Aha! I found the note cards.
No, what are those? Where did they come from?
I put it in so that we could write on it.
So what do we write in the moment?
I'm trying to. Oh.
Considering my stats, I think I kind of already have a small background story to the character. I mean, not a big one, but I would say my character is basically still kind of a student for magic. Because look, he's not that powerful at the moment. I'd say he's still just a student, and never mind of the story. We'll think about it later. Oh, okay. So
Dexterity, 8. Strength, 7. Intelligence, 10. Wisdom, 8. Charisma, 10. Constitution, 8.
now there you go. That's more like it. Those. Oops. Spells, I'll put like this shield spell, and
You can actually write on it by right-clicking and then going all the way to the bottom of the tab.
no,
See it?
Set to the list down. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Right click all the way to the bottom. Okay. Spells 1. Shield. You think shield is a good choice for my stats?
I definitely do.
Or as for the second spell, probably need something aggressive. Cover for the whole need to defend myself thing. Charm, no need. Detect, large reduce, identify, light. Guess I will go with the magic missile since it's me. Magic missile, a glowing bolt of energy flies from the wizard's finger and automatically hits the target. The wizard must be able to see the target to hit it, but the missile curves around any obstacle to the target. The magic missile does 1d4 plus 1 point of damage. First and second level wizards fire 1 missile. Third and fourth level. Oh, okay, so for my first 2 levels I only do 1 missile, so roll once.
Yep.
Okay, so second level, second spell, magic missile, because the shocking touch, as tempting as it is, as tempting as it sounds, hey, what is, oh, there it is. Now I guess we need to pick equipment.
Oh, basically be the same equipment as the preset, unless you want to have a more difficult or easier time.
So robes, dagger, quarterstaff, paper and ink, 6 torches, 4 sacks, and a backpack. So the same ones you say?
Yep.
Rope, dagger, quarterstaff, paper and ink. Which I presume paper and ink can be useful for runes and stuff. Runes or story-wise things to like leave a message for someone, or write a letter or something. Paper and ink. Torches. I do 4 sets.
I don't know. For each individual money currency.
Oh, you mean like like an extra carrying thing? Meaning sack for money or sack for gems and stuff, just for use.
Yeah. You'll be carrying gems, mainly the current currencies, as in like gold, silver, uh, bronze, and then sometimes electrums or
That's okay. That's the equipment. Why two spells? Because according to his page, it only says one for the first level. One first level spell.
well, that's what's in the rulebook. Two spells to start off with.
Okay.
But you will most likely be gaining magic scrolls that you can use later on.
So I don't need to really worry about it too much at the moment.
No?
Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I would screenshot these.
Or I can just save the object. Right?
Well, I've never saved an object in here, so
Let's try.
objects.
Chef character save.
It would save. I got your stuff. Did you save them?
Oh, I'll just change that. Chef. Thanks. I'll just write shaft. That's it. I'll say going to save okay, save. Okay, I've saved. Let's see if I can spawn it. What is it supposed to be?
In objects, and then saved objects.
Saved objects. Okay. Let's see, they're here. Yep, there we go. So yeah, I can delete that. Don't need it for doubles. Okay, so I saved them items. Save them all. Anything else I need to know before we can think when's the next time when will we be? You know what I mean.
Most likely tomorrow. Tomorrow night on my end. Tomorrow morning on your end.
Well, in the morning I have some stuff to do, and my bow is still working, but I'm pretty sure if we reach the same hour like now, we will be awake, and maybe he'll wanna play first. In any ways, that's all, right? That's everything that's needed to be built.
Yes.
Nice.
And I was actually about to go. I need to go take a shower and everything before I work.
Yeah, and I probably need to fold. Trying to think whether I want to stay another night or just go to sleep now. I guess I'll stay a little more, but thanks for the help with creating that.
It's always a joy to always get a new player in.
Well, tomorrow, me and my I can bring my bro at the same time, about the same time, if you'll be on. I can bring my bro. We can make him a character, and if you have something ready, we can go on a story. Unless 3 people is just not fun.
I mean, this is always ready right here.
And if not understand it,
I'm sorry you cut out there.
If I understand correctly, even the ones that are written are not written in stone. Like they can change drastically depending on the story itself.
Correct.
Like
I always change it up.
Oh,
so.
okay, they're having a struggle, so this NPC, which could have been way later in the game, I'll bring it right now instead, and stuff like that.
I normally make my own NPCs, but yeah.
That's why, because of stuff like that, I was thinking, how much actual preparation does a story need instead of having the main idea and building it as you go, telling them the story.
Sometimes when you actually are making a campaign, you really have to think about how loose or how tight you want it to be. And that's a very difficult thing to do in this game, where you can just totally just improv your way all the way to the end. You know, you have a beginning, you have a middle, you have an ending, and you fill up those gaps.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty much thinking. Like, as if I was going like, oh, okay. The thing is, I can be like, oh, okay. Be like, okay, vampire, werewolves, war. Each one of the clans has a special item that needs to be reclaimed before a big warlock unleashes something really evil. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I was trying to figure out stuff. Like, I was thinking at first, I was like, I could do a one-time story that's, like I said, werewolves and vampires in a special city. Each one of them getting a specific gem. But you know the whole werewolves vampire problems. There's always a rogue one. The city of the werewolves. There's a city with werewolves. The beauty of the thing about it, they have a gem. They have something called. They have the moonstone, which kind of what they do is how it protects the other werewolves. Why is it so important to them? It's because they found out a way through alchemy and magic to break small pieces of the stone every time, because the stone regenerates. Small pieces of the stone make a very special talisman that helps the werewolves not go insane when it's the forced transformation at the full moon. Also, that or enables them to transform at will while keeping their sanity full. On the other hand, the vampires have something. On the other hand, there's the vampires that want to steal the stone because they know that if they can steal it, if they the same text, the werewolves might be able to allow them to walk during the daylight. I'm still, kinks and stuff, trying to figure out how it could work. Thing is that you can't have light without dark, and if you use the moonstone wrongly, the vampires can use it to bring an eternal night, so they can roam around forever. They don't have to be afraid of the sun. On the other hand, the vampire, the person who wants to try to claim the artifact the vampires have, that artifact, it helps the vampires in some way, and used for the evil type. It can be for the evil way. It can be used to uh, mass produce vampires or stuff. You know, make it so you can just mass produce them without even needing to bite people for it. Stuff like that. And the whole purpose of the story is to try to prevent those.
Oh yeah, that
Well, I guess,
yep, vampires and werewolves.
yeah, that's an option. Anyways, it's been fun. I have my character. We have my character ready.
Oh yeah, that's always the longest, most boring part. I gotta
Well,
tell
it
you.
was quite short. It was quite short for the second edition. I mean, for the fifth, it has way more. It has choose a proficiency, choose this, choose that. A lot of problems.
Oh, I know. It's a lot more simplistic in second edition AD&D.
Well, I guess I'll see you in the session. I guess I'll see you in the session if if uh, if I'll convince my bro to make a character and we'll do it together. We'll see.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah, see you as well.